I'm blown away by this. Could this actually be the end of Cam Newton in Carolina? It might just be. This has been a really, really crazy turn of events this whole week. NFL Week 9, of course, as you know, the midway point of the NFL season in the regular season. And there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on the last few days, and, it'd be nice to do a little recap. So let's start off on Thursday Night Football, where the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Arizona Cardinals a total of 28-25. The 49ers were leading for most of the game, but the Cardinals came up late and some garbage time, and it almost felt like they were could have had a chance to win at the end, but the 49ers stopped it. Quan Alexander's done for the season with a torn pec. He's on IR. That's okay. The 49ers defense is still fantastic. I also say that Jimmy Garoppolo, he played like a true franchise quarterback out there today. He threw for 4 touchdowns, not today, on Thursday. He played like a true franchise quarterback on Thursday. Total of 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A really, really nice game for him. As for the Cardinals, hey, you lost to a really, really quality team in your division. Cardinals are still competitive, but they're not. They're going to finish 4th in their division. I'm pretty sure even they know it, but it's okay. It's a rebuilding year, but there is a promise for the future, and Kyler Murray is going to probably finish top 3 in terms of offensive rookie of the year voting. And then we move on to the Sunday games, starting with the London games, where the Houston Texans, I thought they would beat the Jaguars. I didn't think they would beat I did not think they would beat the Jacksonville Jaguars by the level at which they destroyed them. And they didn't just beat them; they destroyed them, 26-3. Still, the Jaguars have only had 2 rushing touchdowns the entire season, and not just that, they've been kind of lacking just in terms of total touchdowns themselves. Gardner Minshew had a kind of day. In fact, after the game, Doug Marrone decided that after the bye in Week 11, Nick Foles is going to be the starter again. So much for Minshew mania. Well, he went 4-4, so he did really serviceable as a backup. I would say that, it was really, really nice. I'd say it was very, very nice for them, and, hopefully Gardner Minshew is the future long term. Who knows? It's Nick Foles' show again. And for the Texans, they're currently They're currently on top of their division in a very, very competitive AFC South, along with the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a 2-team race. It's going to come down to the very, very end. We'll just see what happens at the very, very end. We're just going to see what happens. Who's going to finish on top? Texans or Colts? We'll just see what happens. We move on to those Colts, who lost the Steelers. Yeah, they had a shocking upset. Even though they were the road team, they lost the Steelers 26-24. Jacoby Brissett got hurt early in the game, but Brian Hoyer still did well. He still did serviceable. They would have had the lead if Adam Vinatieri made that field goal. I think at the end it's soon for him. I think this might be his final season. He played a big role into 2 losses. The first one against the Chargers in Week 1, and also this week against the Steelers. If he would have made all those kicks, the Colts would be 8-1 right now. The Colts would be 8-1 right now. They'd be tied with the Patriots with the best record in the AFC. No question, they'd be above the Texans. They would be considering a first-round bye in the AFC. Now they're 5-3. They're currently the 6th seed in the AFC. The Texans are the 3 seed. And it's a little bit of uncertainty for him. Now, they're going to stick with him for now, but are they going to stick with him after the season? I'm not too sure. I think it's a coin flip at this point. As for the Steelers, there's still some connection issues between Mason Rudolph and Juju Smith-Schuster, but TJ Watt's had a nice season. I think the Steelers can do whatever they can to try to remain 500 for the season. And also that Minkah Fitzpatrick pick is going further and further towards the center of the draft, but worse things have happened. Speaking of the Dolphins got their first win of the season. There won't be any perfect season this year. Yes, that's right. The Miami Dolphins defeated the New York Jets, who are now the worst team in the NFL. Even though the Bengals are 0-8, they've been at least more competitive in their games. The Jets are awful. The Jets by far, they just played so poorly right now. They lost the Dolphins, they got shut out by the Patriots. The only team that they beat was the Cowboys, but by definition, does that make the Cowboys worse than the Jets? No, because the Cowboys beat the Dolphins, who beat the Jets, who beat the Cowboys, who beat the Dolphins. You get the idea. But yeah, that was their only win, and they almost gave that up too. The Jets, very, very bad mistake in hiring Adam Gase. He looks to be a one-and-done head coach over in New York, and it's just going to be an utter total disaster for them here on out. Sam Darnold has not improved. He's only regressed. The entire team's regressed. The offense has been abysmal. So much for Adam Gase being a big offensive genius. I don't know about that anymore now. He's been pretty bad as head coach, and everyone knows it. The Dolphins, hey, Brian Flores gets his first ever victory as a head coach. I think he has something in him. I think the Dolphins are still going to finish with a top 3 record in the top 3, one of the top 3 worst teams. I still think they're going to have a top 3 draft pick. I don't know about number 1 overall now because you still have the Bengals, you still have the Jets, and the Redskins, and the Falcons. But hey, they still have those 2 other first-round picks. They have a better chance to try and move up than anyone else. So the draft is in their favor, and they still be the biggest power player in the NFL draft. Jets, hey, is Chase Young going to come soon? Who knows? Move on to the Midwest, where the Kansas City Chiefs prevailed. Last-second field goal with Harrison Butker over the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings team that's won 4 straight games and is currently the 6th seed in the NFC. The NFC is very, very tough, and they're 6-3. They're very, very competitive. As for the Chiefs, they're 1-1 without Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be out. Mahomes going to be back in week 11. Mahomes is going to be back week 11 against not week 11. No, it's not going to be. Mahomes is going to be next week against the Titans. He's going to be rested. His knee's going to be healed up, and they're probably going to beat them. And they're going to try to find their best way to try to go. They're going to try and win their division, and they're going to try to get the first round bye in the AFC. As for the Vikings, tough loss, but hey, at least the Packers lost. I mean, I spoiled that. At least the Packers lost as well. But you would have hoped if you won that game. It's going to be tough in the NFC. In the NFC, every win and loss counts. Every win and loss counts. And you lost to a team without their star franchise quarterback. But as for the Chiefs, great job on Andy Reid and that entire coaching staff. Great job on the players. Andy Reid's now firmly the 6th most winningest head coach in NFL history. Truly remarkable, truly underrated, future Hall of Famer, absolutely. Then we go to Carolina, where the Panthers prevailed over the Tennessee Titans 30-20. Cam Newton, after the game, has been put on IR. His season's over. It's going to be Kyle Allen the rest of the way. So does that mean it's the end of Cam Newton in Carolina? Could that be the case? It might just be. Kyle Allen's done a fine job, and he was undrafted. Newton has not been the same since his MVP campaign. His body's been breaking down. There's the issues with the referees as well. His shoulder, his leg, his foot. I think it's time for him to find a new destination. Where is that going to be? Chicago? Maybe. Who knows at this point? It's going to be pretty tough to find out for sure. As for the Titans, you got your first loss with Tannehill, but you could see something in Tannehill that you never saw in Mariota. Tannehill's the reason why this offense is going. It's why it has life. It has an identity with him. Why even go back to Mariota now? Mariota's a bust. Mariota's a bust. As for, again, with the Panthers, Christian McCaffrey is going to finish top 3 in the MVP race, I guarantee you, or at least top 5. Really, really good. And what do you expect? Did you expect the season to be between 3 black quarterbacks and 1 white running back? I don't think anyone did. And then the Buffalo Bills won over the Washington Redskins. Redskins, this is their 3rd straight game without scoring a touchdown against the Niners. They lost 9-0 against the Vikings. They lost 19-9, and now against the Bills, they now find themselves losing 24-9. Just 6 field goals. That's not going to cut it, guys. That's not going to cut it. Even though that Dwayne Haskins started his first game, He wasn't bad, he wasn't good, he was average, he was serviceable. He handed the ball off to Peterson a lot. Sorry. Peterson had over 100 rushing yards. Great job. On the other side, Frank Gore, inching very, very close to the third all-time on that rushing yardage list. I mean, Josh Allen made some big plays here and there. And the Bills are currently the 5 seed in the AFC, and they're going to try to hold on that until the end. In fact, it's great. It's very, very good for the Bills' benefit that they're beating the bad teams on their schedule, because if they were to beat all the teams with the below 500 record on their schedule, they'd finish the season 11-5, and they'd most likely be a wild card team. So that's good. Just keep beating the bad teams. If you're a team that's good, you need to beat the teams that are bad. And the Redskins are easily a team that is bad. They're a team that has a chance to get the #1 overall pick. Well, it's good. Thanks, Denny. Yeah, it is very awesome. Well, not for the Redskins. It definitely is for the Bills. Now, let's go to another NFC East team, one that actually has a chance to go to the playoffs and win their division, in the Philadelphia Eagles, who beat the Chicago Bears 22-14. DeSean Jackson, oh my God, he came back. He's injured again. He's tore a core muscle right off the bone. He's going on IR. Just so sad. And like we were talking very early in the season that, you know, with all of his long distance touchdowns, he could prevail. He could keep doing more over that, and he could potentially have a way to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But now it's even riskier. Even now, it's even more touchy. It was touchy to begin with. Now it's a lot of injuries. It's not going to help you out. And as for the Bears, Trubisky's not the guy. I think after a week or two, they're going to give it to Chase Daniel. And I would not be shocked if they sign Cam Newton in the following offseason, because I think he could really work well for that team. But line's not great. But the defense is, well, the defense is fine. And, you know, Nagy hasn't been the best play caller. Yeah, the Eagles still have a chance at that division, but that's all they have. Just a division, not a wild card spot. 4 o'clock games. The Chargers in a road game that was a home game, but it was a road game because it was filled with Packers fans. They stunned the Packers. Wearing their navies again. They stunned the Packers 26-11. Yeah, they scored. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, there was 11 points on the Packers, but all that was during garbage time. They shut down Aaron Rodgers in the offense. They shut down the defense. Joey Bosa had a phenomenal game. In fact, he might even be having a better season than Nick Bosa. And Nick Bosa is probably going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Chargers are now back in this, are trying to get back in this race after a slow start. You know, 4-5. They look to be inching very, very close to a wild card spot. Packers, it's a loss, but at least the Vikings lost as well. You're still on top of that division, but you're still firmly on the 3 seed in that NFC. It's going to be tough until the end. But let's continue with the AFC West and the NFC North, whereas the Oakland Raiders, this team is good, man. This team is very good. You cannot underestimate the Oakland Raiders. They're a team that's competitive. They are a team that has good offense, been good on defense. And their special teams have been fine as well. I mean, John Gruden is really amping up this rebuild. And, you know, we gave them flack for the Khalil Mack trade last year, but look at it now. The Bears, if the season would end today, the Raiders would have their 10th overall pick. So, yeah, I'd say this works out in their favor. Now, granted, they traded away Khalil Mack, but guess what? They have a chance to get a top 10 pick in the NFL draft from picks that's not even theirs. That is good business by John Gruden. We were all flacking him for that, and hey, it might be even working him out in the end. In fact, that pick the pick from last year that they got, in exchange for Khalil Mack, they got Josh Jacobs, who looks to be the runaway candidate with the Offensive Rookie of the Year, playing in every single game and having over 100 yards. He's been phenomenal. He has really been phenomenal. I don't think there's any way you can give the Offensive Rookie of the Year to anyone else. Josh Jacobs, when he was their second first-round pick, Cleveland Farrell's been a bit of a this season. Jacobs has been amazing, and Abram went on IR after the first season. After the first game, he went on injured reserve. So Jacobs has really stepped in a big way. From Alabama, again, that's running back phenomenal job by the Raiders. Lions looks to be another disappointing season, but hey, at least you're not the Bears. On Thursday, it's going to decide between the Chargers and the Raiders. Whoever wins that game is going to finish the season second in that division. and whoever finishes that game and whoever wins that game has a really legitimate chance to be a wild card team. And Raiders Chargers, ooh, that's going to be very, very tough. The black hole, oh, that's going to be fun. And then going with the AFC West, you got Brandon Allen starting his first ever game with the Broncos. You wouldn't think he would win, but he did. The Broncos with Brandon Allen as a starter. Joe Flacco's on IR for the rest of the season due to a disc in his neck being out. Soon they're going to give it to Drew Lock eventually, but Brandon Allen got his first ever win as an NFL starter. The Cleveland Browns lost again, and Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry with the Joker cleats and the gold cleats and the uniform combination, that was just bad. They're going to fire Freddie Kitchens after the season. I also thought it was really interesting the transformation from full beard Baker to weird, like, long extension beard to just like tiny little beard, tiny little mustache. From the long mustache to the tiny little mustache and like the, I don't know, like a plumber's outfit. It looked like he was lost. They might even fire Freddie Kitchens in the middle of the season. That's how bad and how disappointing the Browns have been. They're fortunate the Bengals are in that division, because if not, they'd be way at the bottom of the AFC North. Way at the bottom. But as for the Broncos, hey, nice win behind Brandon Allen. That doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs, but hey, you beat a team that you needed to beat. It was at home. A win's a win either way. And then for the final game of the 4 o'clock slot, we had the Seattle Seahawks over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers battle the 1976 expansion teams. Yes, they both founded in the same year. Overtime thriller, 40-34 by the presumptive MVP favorite in Russell Wilson. The Seattle Seahawks are the Patriots of the NFC. Yes, I said it. They're the Patriots of the NFC. Granted, there isn't really something even close to the Patriots, but the closest comparison you can give to the Patriots for the NFC would be the Seattle Seahawks. They're competitive year in, year out. They always have a winning record. Pete Carroll's a phenomenal head coach, maybe a future Hall of Famer as well. Russell Wilson's a fine quarterback. Their defense is nice as well. General manager's great. Everything. And the Seahawks won again, and can't wait for next week for Monday Night Football. Ooh, Seahawks and 49ers rivalry building up again. Yes, this is what I've been dreaming about. These two teams in their heyday, like 12, 13, 14, 15, they hated each other. And now we get to have this hate again. Oh, man, it's going to be so great. What better place than a Monday night? Well, Sunday night, but hey, it's a Monday Night Football game. I think most of us can live with it. I think we'd be happy either way. As for the Buccaneers, another loss. It's going to be a lost season for you, and going to be gone for Jameis as well. Him and Mariota. Sunday night was a very big surprise for me. The New England Patriots started off the season 8-0. Now, after the game, they're now 8-1. One loss. A 17-point loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The first good team they faced all year. Well, the Bills as well, but the first truly great team that could actually compete with them very well. The only two teams in that conference I can see competing with the Patriots at the end in the AFC playoffs are just the Ravens and the Chiefs, and it's no one else. The Chiefs showed, not the Chiefs, the Ravens showed that Lamar Jackson had another MVP-type performance. He has been far and away the best quarterback from that 2018 draft class. Baker's been a bum so far. Darnold's been bad. Allen's been good here and some not so good there. And as for Rosen, he's so bad he's not even starting for a team that's tanking. But hey, Ravens got a very nice win. They look to try to find themselves at the number 2 spot in the AFC. They look to be running away with that division anyway. So yeah, it's just about seeding at this point. At least that's for me. But I wouldn't dwell too much on it. Ravens are a fine team. Harbaugh's a really underrated coach. As for the Monday night games, the Giants were up 9-3, and then the Cat comes, and they lose 37-18. Yeah, Jones also didn't have a good night. The Giants' defense is bad. The Cowboys came back after the Cat ran in. that was pretty funny. But yeah, it's one of those seasons in New York. In fact, since 2017, I think that the Jets and the Giants have a combined total of like 20-61. Just atrocious. New York football this year, the last few years, has been god-awful. It really has been awful, and the fact the Jets are the Jets are 1-7. The Giants are 2-6, and they're going to be facing each other next week. I wish. Sorry about that. I just wish that these two teams were good again. Hopefully, Daniel Jones against Sam Darnold. Hopefully, this is the matchup for the future. I hope it is. I really hope it is. At least, I just hope. As for the Cowboys, you're on top of that NFC East. It's just you and the Eagles right now. It's going to decide till the very, very end, and I can't wait to see what happens there. As for other stuff around the league, the Jets actually put Tremaine Johnson on IR. He's been a disastrous signing ever since he got there. They're probably going to come out at the end of the season. Josh Bellamy was on IR as well, but who really cares? Nothing against him, but let's be real, that's not really big of a story as Tremaine Johnson going on IR. Malcolm Butler broke his wrist for the Titans. He's out for the season. It could be bad. It could be worse. And then the biggest goat of the whole week had to be Jermaine Whitehead. What the hell? What the hell happened? What the hell happened? What happened? What happened with Jermaine Whitehead? I want to know. You get too triggered when some fans are criticizing your legitimately bad performance against the Broncos, blown coverages and all. And you threaten them? You threaten them. You call them racial slurs. You threaten to kill them. And then you send the location of the Browns headquarters and challenge people to a duel. Fans and even one radio host. What a disgusting behavior. That should not be tolerated by anyone. I don't care who you are. I do not care. Sorry, I do not care who you are. I don't care if you're a public figure or a private citizen. That kind of talk, not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. Shows a lack of discipline on him. And it also makes the Browns look bad as well. It makes them look bad as well. Because they see a player who was so sensitive that he was willing to threaten people for death and send racial slurs to them. Maybe the Browns they're just the Browns again. The only thing that's different is that they had hype for the season. After looking at it, why did we ever have hype for them? Odell Beckham Jr. hasn't done much for the team. Jarvis Landry's been fine. Nick Chubb's been fine. Their offensive line's been atrocious. Baker's been bad. The defense has been fine. Scobert and especially Garrett have been good. But the play calling has just been bad. The team has been bad. They only have 2 wins this whole season. And this was a team that some people thought, I thought they would make the playoffs. Some people saw winning the division. And some even thought they would go to the AFC Championship game. The AFC Championship game. And now they're 2-6. 2-6. And Jermaine Whitehead's Twitter tirade is the personification of how bad the season has been for the Browns. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. An unmitigated, total disaster. It is. It's a disaster. How can you frame it any other way? You can't. I certainly can't. He's gone. His money, gone. His job, gone. His livelihood, gone. Everything, gone. Because he made a tweet. A very bad tweet threatening people. That's a no-go, man. They could sue you. My God. But in terms of other sports, well, the big one for me is that the Baseball Hall of Fame unveiled their modern era ballot. Hopefully they do it right this year. please. More guys in, more people happy. Change the subject for a bit for baseball. Dwight Evans, Steve Garvey, Tommy John, Don Mattingly, Marvin Miller, Thurman Munson, Dale Murphy, Dave Parker, Ted Simmons, and Lou Whitaker. Those are your 10 nominees that will be on the ballot, and they'll be chosen by the Veterans Committee, who are comprised of some voters, some media, a couple media members, and some Hall of Fame players. It's gonna be kind of tough till the end. But if I were to choose my 5, no, I think it's gonna be like 1, 2, or 3 that makes it. But if I were to choose 5 players from here, and split here, I would do Ted Simmons, because he missed it by a couple years ago by 1 vote. 1 vote. Can you imagine missing the mark by 1 vote? Oh, that's got to feel painful. That's got to feel painful. So, yeah, definitely Ted Simmons. Greatest hitting catcher of all time at the time. And then then I see Marvin Miller. He changed the game for free agency. Absolutely. Don Mattingly, of course. He was great. Injuries derailed his career, but 9 Gold Glove, MVP, All-Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, everything. He has everything, absolutely. Lou Whitaker has gotten a lot of steam as of late. You know, you got Alan Trammell and Jack Morris making it, and they said about Lou Whitaker, and that's built some interest. I think Whitaker has a really good shot. And then for my 5th guy, I got to go with Dave Parker. Out of all the players here, he has the most amount of hits. MVP, arguably the best player in the league at many points. Truly remarkable player. As for Murphy, just missed out because MVPs, but not enough hits compared to the other guys. Tommy John, I want to see him, but it's a little tough compared to those guys. But he should be. Steve Garvey, a lot of it has to do with like the consecutive games, and I'd say yes as well, but not compared to these other guys. Dwight Evans, I'd like to see him as well, right? He was either between him or Parker, but I went with Parker because of just the MVP and whatnot. But Dwight Evans, I'm happy that he has some recognition. Then finally, as for Thurman Munson, I'd like to see him make it. His life ended in tragedy. I'd be fine if any of these guys made it. I'd be down with all of them. I'd be happy if any of them made it. Hopefully 3 guys make it. That's what I'd like to see. 3 guys, please. Please. More guys in, more people happy. Who cares the small hall stuff? That stuff's garbage. Yeah. Nation noisy the Expos app. But that's my thoughts of today. Try to do one tomorrow. If not tomorrow, probably the next day. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my vlog for today, and catch you guys later. Peace, guys. Peace.